All right, so I've got my ruffle attached now to the other side. And what I'm going to do is just sew it on with 1/2 inch seam allowance. And then once I'm done with that, it gets flipped over and then it gets all closed up once you fold over the one piece 1/2 inch, fold it down, sew, etc. So right now I'm going to get the ruffle on. Go ahead and do that. Make sure you don't sew your both pieces together. And 1/2 inch seam allowance. Make sure your other strap is open. You don't want to sew it shut. And I pull this away. Open. Everything's lined up. Gathering thread is stuck. Okay, so that's nice and sewn on. And now what we do, like I said, is, well, you can't even see.
He might like
This
see
piece
like smaller, but
now
he's probably not.
gets folded over the 1/2 inch. So that way you close the ruffle and sew it all in. Okay, I'm gonna pin that together and then sew it together. Okay, I have my bodice completely sewn up now, ruffles and all. So what we're going to do now is attach the waistband. So you get, and you repeat it for both, because you've got multiples. So you repeat both sides, front and back. Make sure your notches are facing, well, when you attach it, make sure they're facing out. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so right sides together, 1/2 inch seam allowance. These get sewn together. You do one end, and then you bring it together. Do the other end, so you have a continuous loop of waistband. 1/2 inch. Make sure, like I was saying, I don't know, I'm allowing myself to get confused. Make sure your notches are facing the right way. Oh, stuck there. So you can see you've got one continuous loop of waistband. You do the same thing with your other sets. Where's that's the back? Where's the top? Alright, so I'm going to turn those threads up real quick. If I don't do it now, I'll never do it. And press your seams open because it's going to be easier to line up in a little bit. That's one. So much thread everywhere.
I just realized no one's ever gonna make it with that much.
Okay. So open up your seam. Open, open, open. So now you're going to attach these on, and you make sure your notch matches up, like the front notch and the back notch. So the front, Liam, I'm very loud. Let me do this real quick. Okay. So I've got one here.
You should save that for the trip.
So
But you know, Grandma, she'll probably access. Will it? Not yet. Yeah, she'll
there. God, I can barely even see my own notches that I created. That's the front. Or no, this is the back one. Okay. This way. Okay. This is another part that gets a little confusing here. So we're pinning just one side. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Okay, this bit's probably a little confusing. It's attaching the straps and the bodice. So you take one of your waistband pieces and you make sure it's facing the right side out, and you attach your straps to the back part. And then it says to match the center notch, but honestly I didn't even bother with that just yet. So I attached the straps, and then what you do is you flip it over, you grab the other piece, and this one goes wrong side out, and it slides over completely over the other ones. So this is where you want to match up your front. So you're going to have a few layers in the front because it's going to be waistband and then the bodice, right? So this front part is thicker than the back part, okay? You match up your seams, and then you sew it all together with 1/2 inch seam allowance. It's basically just making sure you don't pin this to the bodice the first time around, because you don't want it to be closed. You need it to be open, you know? That way you can actually put the child in it, right? So, I'm going to sew this together now. I'm going to start at one of my seams. I've got this super pinned because something I did a lot, I shouldn't have unpinned there. Something I did a lot when I first sewed this, and this was like the first thing I ever did, right? Is I didn't get the straps in. Excuse me, I didn't get the straps in all the way. And that was frustrating. And I actually basted my straps down on the back because it's just easier than hitting it. Come off. See, I just pulled that bodice. I don't want to do that. I want to make sure I have it in. Okay, so oops, and then we'll just take a look real quick. Everything should be sewn in, right? So you flip the waistband down. Bodice should be nice and attached. The seams should match up. My straps are in. Thank goodness. And that's that for the bodice. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is gather the skirt, and then we're going to sew that in, and then insert the elastic and all that fun stuff. So I'm gonna gather my skirt now and go through that whole process. But you can see, it's so hard to show, but there is the bodice, front and back, from what you can see. This is angled so weird for me.